This is a P2 Media podcast. You are listening to Pure Perception, a podcast that gives you insights and learnings from microachievers. I am Revanth Anupoju, and I love to learn from other people's experiences, shortcomings, and apply them to real-time scenarios. I hope this podcast connects with you in a deeper level.
This podcast is powered by Anchor. If you love this podcast and if you want to create your own, Anchor is where your search ends. Before starting Pure Perception, we were confused and hesitant on how to get started with the infrastructure. Right then, we stumbled upon Anchor and we were instantly intrigued by this platform. Our experience with Anchor until now was quite smooth, and we would definitely recommend to you, our fellow enthusiasts. Anchor is absolutely free, ready to go, and also quite easy to use. Are you thinking about how it works? The creation tools that come with Anchor allow you to instantly record and edit your podcast right from your smartphone or your personal computer. So what's the delay? Do you have inspiring stories to tell? Download the free Anchor app or visit anchor.fm to get going right away.
Hi guys, welcome to Pure Perception with Revanth Anupoju episode 32. Munduga andariki chala thanks for tuning into this podcast. And ee week nato patu Harshad is joining, and we're going to talk about a fascinating journey of building a creative community. Namaskaram Harshad bro, how are you doing? Thanks for doing this.
Namaskaram Revanth, so good to be here on this podcast finally.
Yeah, thank you bro. We were planning it from like a couple of months.
Yeah, absolutely. So wonderful to be here. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to this talk.
Thank you, bro. Like you've recently moved to Mumbai, right? So how's it? How's Mumbai?
Oh, it's been great. It's been amazing. Apart from the extremely humid climate, I think everything is pretty cool and chill here in Mumbai. But of course, I miss Hyderabad a lot. A lot because it's been. I've stayed there for 5 years. So obviously, there's another family that I've made, and I miss them a lot. Hopefully, I'll be there soon once this pandemic crazy stuff is over.
Right. So before we dive into your background, can you share some of your lockdown and COVID learnings?
Well, there are quite a few. It's obviously been a tough time for most of us, and for me, I think it really allowed me to sit back and take a layman look at what exactly I'm doing with my life and what I want to do going ahead.
Yeah.
And I think that gave me. I mean, it hit that pause button in my life, and now I think it just gives me a new perspective towards living how I want to live. Because earlier it was like doing what comes my way and try to enjoying it. But right now I'm looking at doing things which I really enjoy first, and then looking forward to making them into my day-to-day job or my initiatives that I take. It's like taking control over your life first and then acting upon it. So that's my very important learning from this 2020 lockdown that I've got.
Like before, I used to run a race without any finish line. Now it's like marathon. What do you say?
Oh yes. I think that sums it up pretty well.
So bro, can you tell me about your background? I mean, your education background.
So see, I come from a small town called Khamgaon. That's where I've done my schooling. It's in Maharashtra, Vidarbha. I was there until 8th standard. Then I moved to Nanded, another district place in Maharashtra. I was there for 4 years. And then I moved to Pune, which was like my go-to place since childhood because all my relatives stay there. And I did my college there, which was in political science. I completed my bachelor's in political science. And taking up political science was a pretty, I was very much interested in social studies. And I had certain options like psychology, economics, political science. And at that point of time, it seemed pretty interesting. I mean, I obviously didn't have much of an idea of what exactly I'm going to do with that degree, but it did sound like an exciting course to do, and it was for those 3 years of college. So I took up political science, and that's where I think a lot of my political understanding of this world and how exactly we flutter around between right wing, left wing, centrist, and how the world works around that really developed. And I think it gave a very good perspective to how exactly humanism is growing and how exactly we should go forward. What are the important ideologies that will take us forward, and what are some of the ideologies that will probably make us fall back as humanity. So all that developed during those 3 years, and then after that I came to Hyderabad, wherein I took admission to AISFM. This was Annapurna Institute of Film and Management, and there I completed my master's in media business administration. So the idea was pretty easy to also complete a master's degree, wherein it will ensure that I have some degree in my hand, which will give me my bread, butter, and beer, and also do so close to an artistic community. And so yeah, it was like hitting a bird. I mean, hitting two stones at the same time. That is my background.
So why Annapurna and why Hyderabad, bro?
At that time, this was this course MMBA, which was Masters in Media Business Administration, was available only in Hyderabad at Annapurna. It's a very unique course. They have discontinued it, unfortunately. Very unfortunate that they have discontinued this course. Maybe they didn't have many people like us who were crazy enough to just take that risk and do something like this. So they have discontinued it. But yeah, we had a wonderful time. It was a very wonderful course to just get an insight into how the media world and the business aspect of that works in terms of your film businesses or your OTT platforms now that is coming up, and all sorts of media advertising or so that was something that we learned there. And those were two amazing life-changing years in Hyderabad at AISFM.
Okay, so like I was skimming your LinkedIn profile and I came across this community manager keyword, bro. Like you have done this, these kind of roles in different companies like Starma, Silly Monks, Kahania.
Yeah.
So tell me about that story, bro. I mean, that journey of being a community manager and what made you choose that sort of a position in any sort of company.
Yeah, so I think it came, I had no idea what community manager is. I didn't know that this word called community management or community manager exists until the time I actually came across that position. Somebody from the startup industry introduced it to me and told me that you could be doing this job, so why don't you join us? That was Kanye, and you be the community manager for us. That's when I realized that there is a word called community manager. But my work was how I landed up doing that was through human library work and through doing different initiatives and events which were related to community building. So what is a community? Community is just a set of people who have the same kind of interests and philosophy. They come together and they do certain activities and help each other, and that's how you come closer and become a community.
Correct.
And community management is to make sure that you keep on adding value to that community. You keep on making sure that there are like-minded people who are joining these communities and they are getting the most out of each other's help and resources. So that was my main job, and that's what I was doing there as community manager. And I think I landed up there because I was dealing with people management, and those kind of roles. So I was pretty interested in that. Then that became my career, day job, basically.
All right. Like even I used to do this community management for a startup, bro. In 2015, I used to work with a startup called Plazio. So they used to design games for like board games, arcade games. So we used to manage those game players. If they have any issues, we used to note them and tell to our dev team and marketing team. It's basically
that's interesting.
Yeah, it's basically you engage with your audience or customers, right? So the engagement is
right. I get that. It must be fun.
It was
Gaming
fun.
Communities are also a lot of fun. Absolutely.
Because the personalization and the touch is very important. The touch points are very important.
Very much. Very much. You should feel home. Family.
Yeah. We'll get into your human library project, bro. To explain the human library project to a layman, how can you tell?
Okay, so human library is a place where books are people and reading is a conversation. So basically, imagine your library in your college. Okay, where you walk in, you check out the catalog. What are the books in my library? Then you take a book and go to the librarian and tell, okay, I would like to borrow this particular book. The librarian will give you the library card, make the notes on that, and you can take that book home, you read it.
Right.
That is the general library. And at the human library, what you do is everything is same, exactly the same, but instead of those paper books, we have human books. So
Okay.
it is actual people. So you come there, you check out the catalog, and the catalog is not just books, but it is people, actual people who are there at the library. You tell the librarian that you would like to borrow them, and we take you to that book. You sit with them, and you have a conversation session with that particular book, that human book.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can't take them home, but you can sit with them and you can have that conversation for about 35 to 40 minutes and talk about their experiences and understand their lifestyle and also ask questions.
Yeah.
So what is the difference between any, I mean, I get this question a lot to
Yeah.
understand more about human library, that who are these books, can anybody be a book, human
Yeah.
book?
Yeah. Yeah.
So at the right, so at the human library, the books that we have, these are people who are representing a particular social stigma or a prejudice or a stereotype.
Right.
They have been subject to some kind of a stigma in the society
Yeah.
for some or the other reason. That could be their lifestyle choices, that could be the group that they come from,
Hmm.
or that could be just the general perception of people towards their social group. And that's what makes the human library a place for difficult conversation.
Oh.
And that's why when you borrow a particular human book, you sit with them and have a conversation session. We encourage the readers to ask difficult questions
Hmm.
and get answers to them. So that's how the human library works.
And what was the key incident that made you to start? Because this is like, I think Hyderabad project was the second one, I guess, right, in the
Yeah.
world. So what was the key incident,
Yeah.
bro, to start this project?
Yeah, so Hyderabad Human Library was definitely the catalyst of many more human libraries that came up in South Asia,
Yeah.
basically
Yeah.
Southeast Asia, and many other places. In fact, not just in this part of the country of the world, but many other places. And a lot of, I mean, credit goes to the media attention that we received. But
Yeah.
how I came across was through a Facebook meme.
Meme.
So
Okay.
I
Interesting.
meme, yeah. So I was just scrolling through Facebook in 2016,
Okay.
and I was still in college. I was in AISFM completing my master's degree, and also I was very much interested in initiatives, taking up initiatives and stuff like that.
Right.
So I used to follow this the right people basically to give me ideas and to give get me into this world of ingenious stuff that happens around. And yeah, I came across this meme which said there are people around, there are libraries around the world where you can borrow a person and listen to their story.
Okay.
And that really got me interested, and I was very excited to read that, and I felt that was an extremely ingenious idea. I went on the internet and I just looked for a human library that exists in India, and there was none at that time. That's when I realized ki, okay, maybe if it's not there, I had all the resources to start it in Hyderabad, because
Yeah.
I was in college, I had my friends, I had a lot of interested people who were willing to organize this kind of events with me. So that's how I started this journey of human library in March 2017. That
Okay.
was our first event.
Was it easy to start off from scratch, bro? Yeah, like from with your friends. Like, was it easy, and what are the challenges that you faced? It's really a challenging task. So share some of your
It
challenges that
is.
you faced.
It was. I would say I don't think it was very difficult.
Okay.
I think, but then again, it was not difficult because I was already kind of used to organizing events. I was used to organizing stuff like that. So when
Okay.
you're already up, have been exposed to certain things like these,
Yeah.
so it was not exactly from the scratch. So which helped me a lot.
Hmm.
Plus, being in college, I think it helped me a lot because whenever I needed some kind of help, I had my friends to fall back to and ask them, okay, I need 4 volunteers for the event tomorrow. Would you guys be interested? Why don't you help me with this? And it will be fun. Let's do this. And they were ever interested, and they just came up and they're like, okay, yeah, let's do it. What do you want us to do? Explain us what is this. And that's how you form the team, and then you go on to organizing that event. But the biggest challenge was to build the book depot for human library,
Yeah.
because as I
Yeah.
said,
I was about
the
to ask that. Yeah.
books at human library,
Yeah.
yeah, so the books at human library are, it's not anyone, not like anybody can come and become a book.
Yeah.
It is people who are representing a particular social stigma.
Right.
So we are talking about social groups that are times still were not very much accepted publicly. For example, the LGBTQ community. So that we have books coming from that community where say there is a openly gay person,
Yeah.
there is a transgender person who is a human book, uh, and there are certain topics like domestic violence. So there is a woman who is talking about domestic violence in
Mm-hmm.
her marriage. There is somebody who is talking about being a male classical dancer.
Okay.
Somebody is talking about their divorce, how it is being a divorcee at this point of time.
Yeah.
Somebody is talking about child sexual abuse. So these are not very everyday topics that you talk
Correct.
under a
Correct.
tree
Yeah.
or in the coffee house. So these
Yeah.
are topics that are difficult to talk to, and it's not like just conversation about this. It's about talking to people who come from that particular social group.
Right.
So, finding the people of understanding what stigmas exist in the society, finding those people, explaining them the concept, and giving them that confidence that nothing will go wrong and you can share your story, and there will be people who would listen to it and be empathetic, and when they go out listening to your book, they will have a much larger perspective of the society that they live in.
Right.
Explaining that to them was obviously a task, but
Yeah.
what I realized, what whenever I used to talk about human library to people who were potentially the books, they realized how the potential that it had,
Okay.
the concept,
Yeah.
and they were ever interested and very driven to participate in the human library events. So that also became easy thanks to, I don't think it was that easy in other cities, but in Hyderabad I found that was there. And I think thanks to the kind of cultural infrastructure that we have in the city, that really helped it, because we already have a society like Lamakan
Yeah. Yeah.
or
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Arena
Yeah.
or Swabhiman Yatra and a lot of NGOs. So it was easy to make them understand what we are trying to do.
Correct.
But yeah, finding them and all that was obviously it took some effort.
Yeah. Yeah.
It still does.
Okay. So, like, bro, like, can you share your favorite book, human book?
Okay, it's like asking which is your favorite lung, right or left? Because every book, every book that you read at the human library, there is something or the else to learn from them.
Correct.
And it's not like something that you learn on the internet or on the go anywhere.
Yeah.
There is, these are practical life advices or the ways of leading your life. So it's difficult to pick one. But of course, I think somebody that I really adore and absolutely I am always, whenever I listen to her story, I feel extremely inspired is Mala Auntie's book. I think so. Her book is about mothering LGBTQ children.
Okay.
So she is a mother of a transgender person, and she talks about her experience of mothering her at this point of time. And to listen to her experiences, it is. I mean, I can't really stop and admire her courage for doing that openly and provide so much support towards the entire community, because the LGBT community, whenever it's very hard for people belonging to it to come out and talk about it to their own family, because there are chances that they won't be really accepting them like that.
Yeah.
For in that kind of a society, somebody like Malanti coming forward and accepting that, and not just accepting but also being an activist, like actively trying to spread this message of equality and making other parents of the LGBT community also realize that, I think it's commendable, and I really appreciate, and it inspires me a lot.
Awesome.
So that's one book probably that comes to the top of my mind, but that's obviously not the only one. I think all the 75 books that we have at the book depot, everyone has in some or the other way inspired me.
So, Harshad, bro, like, can you tell me about your current role? Like, what you're doing right now these days?
Right. So right now, as I said, this lockdown has given me opportunity to pause and reflect on what I'm doing.
Right.
So I decided to work on, right now human library was my side project, and community management was my full-time job.
Okay.
And with 2020 I realized that this is something, human library work that I do, which involves uh, educating people about diversity, inclusion,
Yeah.
and just the kind of variety that we have in a society and how it will take us forward is really my calling. So I decided to start my own startup,
Oh,
which
awesome.
will be dealing with workshops on social equity.
Okay.
And they will have these certain learnings and workshops that we will conduct for schools, colleges, and corporates through the kind of framework that human library has set up. So this kind of workshop is what I'm planning on right now, and that is something that we'll be working on. It's called Diversity 6. That's
Okay.
something I'm working on.
Oh,
So yeah,
diversity
that's
six.
it's Diversity 6.
So what is
So
the like significance of the name, bro?
so diversity obviously means diversity, and six is there are six different pillars of prejudices or
Oh, okay.
stereotypes that exist in a society, and different diversity doors of diversities that we have. That's one meaning, and the other meaning is also that I think I want to hit a sixer with what diversity in our society.
Crazy.
So
Yeah.
that's another,
Good,
being
bro.
a cricket fan. So it really matched up somehow, and I would be using those both. But yeah, I think that is something. I think this is the. I mean, I got an opportunity to take a pause in 2020. It gave me that opportunity because there's nothing happening outside, and working from home is something I felt was so void of experiences. You know, when you are
Yeah.
just home
Yeah.
doing work,
Yeah.
so there is no experience happening. At least
Yeah.
when you go to your office, there is like there are
Seriously.
people around, and you feel some experience of doing work.
Correct.
So for me, I was really feeling extremely low and kind of depressed of that. And again, so yeah, that really led me to believe ki, okay, this is the best time to get out of this everyday chakra and do something on your own and work on something that you love. So that's what I'm doing, and it's been fun so far. It's been good, going well.
So what about the parents, bro? How do they support you in your endeavors? Like whatever you do.
Yeah. So my parents are supporting me with house and food and all my roti kapda makan right now.
Yeah.
So I mean that whenever you stay home, I think that makes you save a lot of money also.
Yeah.
But of course, in terms of I know you're asking in the psychological way
Correct.
of how they are
Correct.
supportive. I think they are very supportive. I was surprised, very surprised how they really took my decision of leaving that full-time paid job and work on my startup. But they were extremely happy, maybe also because I came back to Pune.
Yeah.
So they were happy to have me back there. And yeah, right now looking at the work that we're doing, they're also feeling hopeful and very positive about what is going to come in the near future. So they're very helpful. Yep.
Awesome. Awesome. Like tell me about your TEDx experience, bro.
So yeah, in 2017, when Human Library was all over the internet, I think that's when I was invited by TEDx NIT Trichy
Okay.
for a talk. And when it came to deciding on what will be the topic of it, I just chose on understanding why we need something like a human library and how exactly we can extract the most out of it. So that's how the topic came up, that why curiosity is important in today's world in understanding people and reducing boundaries between reducing these gaps between each other. So that was that was what my TEDx talk was all about, and it went pretty well. I think
Yeah,
instead
yeah,
of
I've seen it.
like
Yeah.
I missed out a couple of points though, but I think overall it was pretty good. Yeah.
Like I got the gist of what exactly you're trying to do and,
Right,
and
right.
your journey. Like I was doing some research.
I'm glad you could get something out of it.
Yeah. So I'll definitely share the link of the TED talk on the show description. You guys can check it out. So, bro, now we'll segue to social media and dopamine. So,
Awesome.
so I have one question for you because
Mhm.
I like regularly follow your stories on Instagram. On you post your
I hope I
music.
don't bore you.
No, like, it's very like the other one is we both are like fans of F1, right? So you
Oh
added me
yeah,
on.
man. Yeah,
So
yeah.
it is quite engaging on
Oh
social media.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
one interesting
Right.
question that I have for you is, do you think that we can form deep, meaningful relationships on social media?
Why not? Of course, I think so. We can. Depends on who you're forming it with. I
Right.
think, yeah, of course. I think you can do that, but I mean, I don't think I have really formed any deep, meaningful relationship with anyone on social media as so far. I
Okay.
do feel that offline connect, that touch is very important because, and I haven't really heard of many positive stories coming out of just social media or online conversations. That could be my personal experience because, but I know there must be so many other people who have found some kind of a meaningful connection on social media,
Right.
and it depends on what kind of connection you are looking at as well.
Correct.
It could be friendship, it could be relationship, it could be professional connection, and I know there are very many startups who who came unto because of their social media interactions. So yeah, there are many such stories, and I think even in the, because I studied media, I understood
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
There is one film company that produced Masan and Drishyam films.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
Drishyam Films was, do you know how it was formed? How did it came into being?
No. No. No.
So Drishyam Films, actually, uh, it was Rajat Kapoor. This guy is a very famous Bollywood director and actor. He
Okay.
makes like art films, basically, like good films. Really, they are also very entertaining and enjoyable.
Right.
And but then he makes films which consists of actors, not stars. And
Right.
he was finding it very difficult to find producers for his next film.
Okay.
And he just spoke about this on social media, his Twitter handle, ki I have this amazing script, but nobody's ready to fund me or produce this, so I don't know how what to do about it now.
Okay.
And there was this guy called Manish Mundra, I believe. He is some businessman from an African country,
Hmm.
and he just told him, "Okay, hey, hi, I am interested in producing a film. So why don't you just drop me an email and I read the script and we can go ahead." And initially, Rajat Kapoor thought it was a joke, but it wasn't. And finally, they ended up filming that,
No.
and that's how the film Aankhon Dekhi came in being. I believe it was Aankhon Dekhi. We may just check it again, but I think it
Yeah.
was Aankhon Dekhi. So
Okay.
Aankhon Dekhi came into being with those social media random conversations.
Hmm. Hmm.
And that
Hmm.
guy is a film producer now. He produces quite a few quality films. It's called
Right.
Drishyam Films, is a film house. So, there are ways that social media can be a boon,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I think for, if personally I've realized it does give you a lot of dopamine, and it's great. Dopamine is obviously amazing.
Dopamine
Who
shot.
doesn't like it?
Yeah.
Dopamine shots are amazing. I think they are great. They keep you so happy,
Motivated.
very much motivated. And social media is like one like means one dopamine shot, which means like instant gratification and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Bro.
But in that, I think one thing you need to understand is I mean, it's good as far as you are controlling the dopamine, and
Yeah. Yeah.
not the other way around. Like,
Correct.
the moment you feel that dopamine is controlling you, then I think you need to pause and just reflect on what's happening.
the
Yeah.
and the other question that I have is like what is the strategy? I mean, strategy is a big word, but like why do you write or why do you post on social handles? Like, do you want likes or do you want to document your journey?
I think I would like to document the journey, and also the fact that I don't have any other place to put my photographs.
Right.
So
Right.
I don't have any professional camera. I don't have anything basically. I just have a phone that also I bought recently last year. A good quality phone. Initially, I used to use some MI phone. Now only I have OnePlus. With that kind of, I think it was only Instagram where people would appreciate that kind of, those kind of photographs and all. Then it was more like an outlet for the photography interest and some fleeting thoughts.
Yeah, yeah.
which probably later on now I realize maybe when I'm 60 years old and sitting on a chair and just looking at reflecting on my life, I'll open my Instagram, go to the post that I'm posting now and realize, okay,
Correct.
oh, those were the days. So that's like a virtual diary now. Instead of scribbling on a paper, I think a lot of people are using it like a virtual diary.
Like even have the same thought, bro, like before starting this pure perception or a podcast as a whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So my idea was to
Mm-hmm.
document conversations.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go back 5 years down the lane. I'll come back and like listen to the conversation that I had right now. So I'll think,
Mm-hmm.
we progress in
Yeah.
that way, right? So my idea was also to document. I watched a lot of
Yeah.
Gary Vaynerchuk's video, and he always talks about
Mm.
document.
Yeah, man. Totally. Makes sense. And this is amazing. Like, I can imagine how much fun you will have listening to this podcast later on.
Yes. So
Yeah.
I just want to, like, before ending this podcast, I have one
Mm-hmm.
thing to share that so like how I connected to you is like the love for kurtas, short kurtas and stuff. So
Yeah.
so tell me about your love for kurtas and how did it happen?
Yeah. So kurta, I think it came up out of, I think before anything else, it was my own. I think I was not comfortable with my own body. I used to think maybe I am too thin or something,
Yeah.
and that is what made me when I was in college. I mean, it wasn't the case. In fact, I wasn't thin or anything,
Okay.
but just when you are young, you just look at things which are extremely overtly perfect, and then you are like, oh, I'm not perfect, so I must be very bad. So I had that perception of myself as being extremely thin,
Yeah.
and I just came across some kurtas at Fab India, and I
Yeah.
wore one, and I felt very comfortable in it. I was like, I don't feel like I'm thin anymore,
Correct.
and I felt like I feel so home at this. Like I feel very comfortable. So that's where the love for kurta started. It started as something that helped me come over my own body image, but later on it became like a love for just the design of it, just the Indianness of it,
Yes.
the close to the heartland of your country, and it felt nice.
Even I had the same, like, similar kind of story, bro. But the thing is, I watched this movie called Sagar Sangam, bro. It's a Telugu movie acted by Kamal Hassan.
Uh-huh.
I recommend you to
I've
watch
heard.
that movie, cult
Yes.
movie. So I watched
Yeah.
that movie,
Mhm.
and in that movie, like, Kamal Hassan, wore this. He wears a lot of kurtas in the entire movie.
Okay.
So I love the fact that like why can't I wear one? And it also, I have this habit of wearing kurtas on every
Mhm.
Thursday to my office.
Okay.
Like, to my
Mhm.
day job, and people, like, they recognize you. Arey, this guy is wear Indian on Thursday, and it's kind
Yes,
of
yes.
like people recognize it. Feels good, bro. Yeah, as you said, it's Indian. No,
Yes.
the indie
Yes.
feels good.
That is fun. Yes. That is fun when people recognize you with your outfit. That is yeah, that's
my
a lot of fun.
my director called me on the floor, in my office floor. He called me Sagar. So I was like confused. Why is he calling me Sagar? So he told me, "Arey, do enter Sagar Sangamlo Kamal Hassan la veskunna." So people are laughing, and
Yeah.
since then people call me Sagar, because I wear kurtas.
It's also Kamal Hassan's birthday, I guess, today, or I guess it was yesterday,
It
maybe.
was yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Happy
we
birthday,
keep.
Kamal Hassan, if you're listening to this.
Like, before ending this, like, I have one golden question. I ask all my guests
Mm.
who got featured on the podcast,
Mhm.
and the question is, like, why
Mm.
do you do what you do?
Right. So the answer to that is initially when I used to think about what is the purpose of my life, why am I alive,
Right.
I realized that there is no such thing like purpose that we are born with. You just have to pick one purpose and work towards it. So for me, it was bringing people closer and giving back to the society in the form of more love and understanding for each other.
Awesome.
And that's my motivation, and that's my goal, and that's my dream going forward, and that's what keeps me going. I think that's what keeps me away from any sort of midlife crisis or 20s crisis of what am I doing, why am I doing. It's just that pick one pick something for yourself, pick
Yeah.
a goal,
Yeah.
and work towards it. So that's my answer to what I do, why I do.
It was interesting talking to you, bro. But before closing, like, do you have any book, TV show, or a movie recommendation to our listeners and also to me?
Oh well, so quite a few, but yeah, of course, you guys can check out Yuval Noah Harari's work. I
Okay.
think his books on called *Sapiens* and *Homo Deus*.
Yeah.
I read *Homo Deus* recently, and it was amazing. Uh, I think if you love history, if you love data, if you love science and everything basically that is the general comprises of general knowledge, uh, and also stories, real life stories, you should definitely read Yuval Noah Harari.
Okay.
Homo Deus is a book, and yeah, that, and you'll never get bored of reading it. Even if you don't like to read, that is one book that you can just keep it with you, and you can just open any random page and start reading some anecdotes from that book and enjoy it.
Nice.
So that
Noted.
is one book that you can obviously always go to. So that's one book.
Yeah.
And recently I watched Blood of Zeus on Netflix.
Okay.
So if you like to browse on Netflix, I think that's one very crazy fun show. If you are a 90s kid, it will remind you of 90s Cartoon Network.
No.
So yeah, so
Noted.
that's one another recommendation.
Yeah. Movie.
Movie, quite a few again. But yeah, any film by David Fincher.
Oh. Okay.
So any film, just type his name and pick any film by David Fincher. But if you're looking at something more Indian, I would say I do watch this Marathi film Harishchandrachi Factory. It's available on Netflix.
Okay.
You can watch it.
Sure.
Harishchandrachi Factory is another really beautiful movie.
Do you have any like digital mentors that you look up to?
Not really mentors, because for me, whenever I'm online, it's more like detox. I mean, just having fun, and also I really enjoy watching Jose or Trevor Noah and this kind of people. So it's fun whenever Jose. I absolutely enjoy Jose's content a
Yes.
lot,
Yes.
absolutely a lot.
Khan
I
must.
love.
Like, they do Khan must. That's fun.
Yeah, that lyrics and stuff like that. So he's amazing. Yeah, very therapeutic whenever you watch his videos. It's fun.
Like, do you have any podcast recommendations want to give me?
Yeah, of course. I have one podcast recommendation, and that's Pure Perception with Revanth.
Thank you, bro.
So definitely you should check it out. And even I'm looking forward to checking out more of your channel, man.
Thank you, bro. But apart from Pure Perception.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I'm not really, I don't really listen to a lot of them. But yeah, there is one podcast that I used to listen to. I don't listen to right now, but I used to listen to when it was new, which was Made in India.
Okay.
This was on Savan, and it was basically an introduction to all the indie music, the scene that's happening in India. So
okay.
it was MAED. That's the name of the anchor. So
Okay.
it was made in India. She was in India, and she.
Yeah. I heard about it, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing my
So
research,
it's fun if you like, if you're into music and all, and lesser known artists. That was an amazing podcast, and that really helped me through cooking in my lockdown days. In the background, I used to play it and just cook, and it used to keep me engaged. Made in India is another really nice podcast.
Sure, bro. I'll definitely tune in. And I have one recommendation for you, bro. A podcast recommendation. It's called The Internet Said So by Varun Thakur, Neville Shah, Kader Malik, and Kautik Srivastava. It's a comedy collective. They do on random stuff on internet, like anything. They talk about space, they talk about stuff. It's very comedy. It's a comedy podcast. I recommend. It comes on Tuesday, on every Tuesday at 12 p.m. It's fun. I tune in on every Tuesday. I recommend you to watch that also.
Yeah, I just made a note of it. I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah. Okay, bro.
Yep, sounds fun.
So you have any last suggestion or any insight to me personally? If you can give that.
To you, I mean, your energy is infectious. I think that's something I really needed to experience. Also, I feel in this very lazy lockdown days.
Okay.
And listening to you, talking to you yesterday, it really kind of reminded me of 2017 when I was also doing this human library work on the ground and starting it up. I realized that enthusiasm, and this is something that really makes me feel good to just never let it go, never ever change, just be the way you are, and never let this energy go down. I think that's a huge asset that anyone can have.
Awesome.
And that's all you need. I think there's nothing more that you need. So just
But
keep up the good work and just keep this energy up.
thank you so much, bro. But my inside, I mean, my take on starting a podcast or doing this, because I suffered from stammering, bro, from my childhood. Okay, so I had this lot of stammering, and people never used to listen to me. I have no like I should be very low in confidence in school. So my inspiration to start this is to work on my shortcoming. So somehow started with this in the it's I started this podcast in February, and my major and my major goal is to overcome my stammering. I'm still working on it. So that's the.
Wonderful. I mean, I didn't realize it. So maybe I think your exercise and it's going pretty well. I didn't realize that you had a stammering issue, but which means that I think you've come a long way. And kudos to you for actually taking up this step. It's amazing to see initiatives like this coming up.
Thank you, bro. Anyways, so that's for the episode. Yeah, so that's for the episode, guys. And I'll meet you guys next week. Until then, stay home, stay safe. Thanks, guys.